buddy.
Well,
so pick a tank composition if this happens to you. Because
hindsight's 2020. So at the end of Champion Select, when you're running Lissandra, Victor, Elise, you should pick a tank setup to deal with the Poppy.
That's dodge.
I like it. That's some good advice. Go back in time and fix.
There you go. Or ban the Poppy. That's also good, which was your suggestion.
Well, I think they should ban the Poppy, to be honest. Millenium could first pick the Poppy if it's available. I wonder, we obviously have 5 more bans to go before we can actually start looking at it. But what I mean is that if you don't ban it, it is a pick that could be in that first spot. It's not just like a champion like Braum.
Yeah.
Almost no one first picks, although it was first picked in LCS once.
It was.
We looked at and were like, don't agree with that.
Not sure about that one. Yeah.
Was it Giants?
I think it was, yeah, because they had that curious draft. In fact, they have a lot of curious drafts, but...
It may have been. It was one of the teams that's on the bottom half of the table, at least.
I think it was Giants. Gangplank will be banned on red side. Corki ran over, by the way. Corki on red side also banned away. Kindred will be the next one from Millenium. They banned that last game, but these are just like all meta picks right now, like just the OP list, which is just being banned away. And just looking for the last 2.
Kalista ban probably coming up from Wolves, I would imagine. Oh, maybe Millenium, because they feel confident in the 2v2 anyway. Ooh,
Lucian. Okay,
that's a different one. So normally we'd see the Kalista banned here. So Wolves. So what this is doing is Wolves have to ban Kalista now, otherwise Millenium first pick it, and Millenium just auto win the 2v2. So what Millenium is saying is fight us on our second tier AD carries. And Hans Sama goes, well, I've got Vayne and Draven.
Yeah.
And Misfortune.
What have you got?
Fight me.
Yeah.
You better have something.
He could go like the Forgiven route now, where he went Caitlyn, because this exact situation happened to Forgiven, where they banned Lucian, banned Corki, banned Kalista, and it was like, well, Caitlyn.
Yeah, he goes, I'm Forgiven.
Yes. I can do this.
This happened to me this time last year around IEM Katowice.
Yeah.
And, SK fell apart because of it, so I went out and played other champions. Like, that's what happened.
The Forgiven story. But he was very good on that. He actually goes for a very greedy build where he maxes E after Q, so like doesn't even put a point in trap, and then does like a little bit later, then maxes it last.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, because like the entirety of NA goes for trap second. So yeah, we may have a Caitlyn here. Maybe P1noy will bust out something crazy. But Graves was the first pickup. Kind of not really a surprise here.
Yep, first pick into the jungle leaves Morgana is available. Wolves could look to take that away if they don't want the Trundle.
Yep.
They played Braum in the last game for support, and Wickd did lock in the Poppy as well.
Okay.
So taking it away, now we get to see what Kaze would play into the Poppy. Commonly, we have seen a whole bunch of Fiora, but it takes time for Fiora actually to get into the situation where you can out-duel a Poppy. Takes that third item roughly. Second, third item is where you can actually start to fight her.
Yeah, just because of her kit in the one-on-one, Poppy just generally wins that before you itemize because, well, lunge gets blocked if you time it perfectly with W. Ultimate is really annoying because it's all like instant CC. It's difficult to riposte. You can't see like a wind-up, so and like melee range, there's nothing really you can do unless you're a god and can just see the future. Ooh, okay, Lulu and Misfortune picked up for Millenium.
That's an interesting one, because normally you'd see a Lulu with something that, not that requires more protection, because Misfortune is still fairly low mobility, but normally you'll see it with something that scales better than a Misfortune does. MF has very good damage, especially in team fights like we saw in the last game, but generally a lot of it comes from her ability to just hit multiple targets, either with her ultimate or with just that love tap passive. So interesting that they want to run from, I would assume, the mid lane with the Lulu. I don't feel like Lulu into Poppy is a matchup that I'd really want to take all that much, just from Poppy's damage output alone. Like, Lulu should do okay, but I just think it's not a matchup that you're ever going to win.
I don't think Lulu ever dies in that matchup because you polymorph as soon as she comes in, and then you don't have a dash, so you just run away.
But
at the same
time, I don't think that's a lane that you can control.
No,
like.
Certainly not, but you don't die, so
well, that's a bonus.
Yes. Nidalee and Caitlyn both locked in, so yeah, going to Forgiven route this one, so we can expand on that one later. Nidalee also picked up for the jungle, so more like kind of siegey right here, with like the Braum putting up the shield and then pushing with Caitlyn long range to siege towers and a Nidalee poke, and front line with Poppy as well. I wonder what they pick up last, like maybe like a Wake Clary mid, something like that.
Possibly. At this point, I'm looking over at Millenium's comp. What is it we're looking for? We're looking for support. Unless that Lulu is going to support, but I don't think so. We've only seen that in... God, I saw it the other day on a... It wasn't NALCS. Ah, it was... came after NALCS. The Collegiate. Yeah, they were playing Lulu in support. So I don't think we're going to see that. It is... Oh, of course, Masterwork's Morgana is up. Of course. I mean,
yeah,
it's his favorite champion. Or at least, yeah, one of.
Yeah, I want to see him play more Thresh, but like whenever he has the choice, he always goes Alistar or Morgana over it. So,
I mean, there is a reason.
Yes, but I want to see like the cool plays that he brings out. Even if it loses in the game, I still want to see it. But yes, there are reasons. Morgana with Lulu here, like you just put it on someone who's jumping into the front lines, and they just simply refuse to die. So. Yes.
Yes.
Fiora also picked up onto Kaze, so I do actually get to see him on the carry this time. We see him a lot of time Kench and Poppy, so now we see on something that is like a carry.
So another wave clay mid laner, or the same wave clay mid laner for Soren. No real surprises there when it comes to a mid lane matchup. We've now got Lulu into the Victor, so good luck out pushing that Victor without an engage. This time, no real hard engage from Millenium. No Alistar or anything like that. Looking at it, they actually banned it out themselves. So that's one thing we didn't really talk about is Millenium weren't confident enough to first pick the Alistar, or at least didn't want to hinder themselves that much and give over other picks to Wolves. So they actually banned it out. That is going to reduce their engage potential significantly. And the Wolves on the other side, they've got a Braum, they've got a Victor, they've got a Caitlyn. Those are all champions that you don't really want to try and engage into without some kind of massive ultimate.
That's true. If they get engaged on, it's almost better for Millenium in the setup, but it's kind of, yeah, it's odd because like it's kind of coming in from like a binding from Masterwork or something. Like it's kind of difficult to make that happen. Either way, since this split has been the most competitive that we've seen so far in Challenger, we've had plenty of big plays coming out from our team. So this week, our play comes from Rank R, who tweeted, "A pentakill for P1noy helps Copenhagen Wolves secure Game 1 against Inspire Esports. So this is your Week 2 Challenger big play." And CosQ is taking so much damage from the Lucian, though. The culling is used and jukes him away. Maybe he can get the kill. Stops the ultimate with the 1v2, the triple, the quadra kill in for P1noy. Can he make it the penta?
Oh,
he's going up against Woolite. Goes for the one-on-one. Woolite, he gets it. He shuts him down for the pentakill.
Holy pentakill. I thought I was going to say something else there.
Yeah, me too. Well, you didn't,
Close.
So yeah, hashtag saved. But no, that was good. That was actually really cool to see. And as you mentioned earlier, he held the heal. So
yeah. And went through a Hex Drinker. May have even been a more. I didn't catch it there. But
well, if you spot a big play going from these plays, make sure to tweet at us from with the hashtag CSBigPlays, and your tweet could make the broadcast just like Rank R's. And yeah, I want to see more big plays. We actually had quite a lot so far, so I think it's kind of easy, this split. Because last split, it was like, we've just followed SirNukes around, and then he'll make like, he'll just make a play a game, and then it's just like, tweet that one in. Yeah.
Well, he even started doing that in the LCS as well with his LeBlanc plays. But nevertheless, we are getting ready to head into Game 2. Millenium do lead this series 1-0 in a best of 2. So get on Twitter. Make sure you use those hashtags MILWin or hashtag CWWin. We'll check up on those as we get through the game.
Nailed it. All right,
Got it.
It's a game. Millenium and Copenhagen Wolves, second game of this one, swapping up the sides in this best of 2. Millenium currently 1 up in this one. And opening up the game, there's not too much that's out of the ordinary. Top laners both going for the potions, so sometimes you'll see Fiora go for Doran's blades, so maybe a bit of a change there, but ultimately not that big of a difference in the early game. Looks like Handsome got some damage onto P1noy though. Won't really matter because it's so early on into the game.
So this isn't really an in-game thing, but one thing I noticed
Why are you saying in a game then?
Well, no, it is.
Okay.
One thing I noticed Millenium didn't really do in the last game was BM. Because the last 2 series, they have been pretty BM when they've got ahead. Just, you know, throwing out the emote spam. Yep. As we said, we're on Tournament Realms, so sadly no Mastery emote. Can't get that on here, I'm afraid. Or at least there's no solo queue to get games. You could just play a whole bunch of queue up for normals. Just like, but for this week of Challenger, I've got to get rank 5 Mastery on Poppy so I can emote spam. But
probably worth. But yeah, you're totally right. We didn't see it. Mainly, Djoko is like one of the big offenders on that one. and didn't do it once. Maybe that's a sign of them concentrating more.
Possibly.
Against Copenhagen Wolves, because that first game was more intense than many of the other games that they've had. It definitely stalled out for a little bit.
I think also when you take into account that Trowen was like 4-1, which did have a little bit of an impact on exactly what was going on with the Wolves when it came to who had the damage, who was able to do what in fights, because Trowen was really tanky, sure, but it wasn't helping Millenium, helping the Wolves win that game at all. It was nice, but maybe would have liked a kill on Wickd or a kill on Soren.
That would have been nice, yes. Bottom lane was being poked in by P1noy. Top lane is just trading back and forth. I really like that our observers were following the early route from Trowen, because he's going for the full clear. That. Yeah, and he's placing down the traps tactically at the start of the game, which allows you to go for those camps and continuously reset. And because the way Nidalee jungle works and you reset your auto attacks and animation cancel a bunch with your abilities, mainly out of Cougar form, you clear the jungle exceptionally quickly, but you have to set them up and kill the camps in a very specific way. Trowen missed one of the traps, or rather one of the